Oh, hey everybody, what's happening? Sammy the Different Brewer coming at you, and I'm spilling beer all over myself, and happy Homebrew Wednesday. What a day this is weather-wise. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing, 21 degrees. This glass of raspberry wheat beer. Cheers to you guys. Oh, Billy, that's good. What's been going on? Well, got a couple updates here. It's gonna go into the old sheddy poo. Oh. Try not to trip over the old lawn mower. The mower of lawns. We got some sweet hop action going on in the old backyard. Here we go. So, the Centennial is doing really, really well. And beside that is a little bit of cilantro, which I'm going to be removing and transplanting. But the Centennial is kicking butt. Still no Columbus yet. So we'll have to wait and see how that progresses, if anything. I'm sure if we don't get anything this year, we'll get bounds and bounds of hop cones for next season. So, yeah. Other than that, we're going to do a bit of an update on the Hodgepodge beer, which was the overnight mash beer, which with the rhubarb and the citra. But yeah, take a gravity reading of that and see how that's progressing. And then this weekend, we've got some crazy shenanigans going on. Going to meet up with Nick and Dan in Toronto. We're going to go to Session Toronto, which is by far probably one of the biggest craft beer festivals / expos in Canada, or Ontario at the very least. We're in the heart of downtown Yonge Dundas Square. They got a whole whackload of people coming in. They do a bunch of collaboration brews with different celebrities, and you get to taste some really wicked beer. So last year, if you'll remember, there was a little bit of footage from the old karaoke, if you will. So maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to go out and film some additional footage there. And I'm a little bummed though. I'm still waiting for my GoPro mount kit that I ordered from China like almost a month ago, and it still hasn't arrived. So hopefully that arrives in time for this weekend. We can get some selfie shots and do this and do that. Yeah, go from there. But so yeah, without further ado, let's cruise on back into the house and we'll take some samples, or sample, and we'll see how the Hodgepodge is progressing. So cheers. We'll be back in a bit. Thanks, you guys. Okay, so we're back from outside and just pulled off a sample of the old Hodgepodge, which started out at 1052. If you look closely, hopefully that focuses in. We're going to call that 10004, which gives me an ABV of 6.3. Holy. So, it's more to my feelings on overnight mashing, that is not a bad thing. Finished off a little bit drier than I had hoped, but honestly, it was fermenting like non-stop, like going freaking spider webs. It was going mental for basically since the 30th. It started within like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was just going constant. And you know, normally at the end of your fermentation, you get that slow, steady release of CO2 every 30 odd seconds. Airlock was bubbling constantly every 5-10 seconds. And it finally started to slow down and finally stopped dead in its tracks about a day or two ago. So I whacked up the temperature on the fermentation chamber of doom here to 20 for a dactyl rest, and that was actually yesterday. So I'm going to let it go for another day. I'm then going to transfer it into secondary, because as you can see, it is extremely cloudy, and I want to give it a chance to clear out, because I don't mind a cloudy beer, but this WB06 yeast, it finishes way cloudy. So that's the raspberry wheat beer, which is alright. But I know this is kind of odd, but I think next time, if I were to brew this again, which I probably will next summer, is not use WB06. Maybe use a different wheat yeast, or maybe not even use a wheat yeast at all. I don't know. But Mrs. Thrifty doesn't like this at all, so that means more for me. Okay, so now that we've got that all figured out, let's have a little sampling poo and see how she tastes. Now, I love Citra, and I know it's going to be catty, and it's going to taste like a little bit of cat urine and in the beginning, because it's basically, what are we now, 9th? 10 days, let's say. Definitely smell the Citra right off the nose, that's for darn sure. A little Hook Norton sampling glass, courtesy of Cousin Dan. And let's see how she goes. There's a slight sweetness from the wheat yeast that you can get. If you remember, I did pitch this directly onto the yeast cake from the previous batch of the raspberry wheat, the WB06, so second generation, if you will. And there's a definite sort of cattiness that's there. Not as pronounced as it has been in my other smash beers with Citra. But got in something there that I think is the rhubarb. But without further ado, cheers you guys, and happy Homebrew Wednesday. There's a slight twang, which is what I was hoping I would get from the rhubarb. But next time I will definitely add more to counterbalance the tropical notes, or the citrus notes of the Citra, or sort of complement them, if you will. But I think it'll work. Now at 6.3, is it 6.3? At 6.3%, it's dry, but there is a slight bit of residual sweetness there that I think maybe coming from the rhubarb, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's, you know, the esters from the yeast that are sort of helping push it along. It's hard to tell. But I think this has been a success. I might dry hop it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not on the fence still. Either way, what I am going to do, though, is tomorrow I'm going to rack it into secondary. And then cold crash it for a couple of weeks and see if that mellows it out. Because the Citra, I want to sort of bring that citrus punch forward and help out with the bitterness a little bit with the rhubarb. But the two seem to be working really, really well. That's for sure. So yeah, in this case, guys, overnight mashing was a definite success. Only problem is beer finished way, way dry, but also because I wasn't really watching it. I didn't drop the temperature down to reduce the yeast activity, so my fault for that. But either way, it's going to be a really good, like, after a long gardening day, mowing the lawn kind of day, having a couple of these and just calling it a day after that, because a couple of these and you'll be a little welcome to Happy Town, if you will. So yeah, like I said earlier, sorry. Session in Toronto this weekend. I'm going to meet up with Dan and Nick. I'm going to drive down there on Friday. We're going to do another overnight mash. We are going to brew a collaboration brew. Thank you. I need another one. This one won't work with yours. I need Mummy's type of cord for yours. Yeah, thank you. We're going to do a collaboration brew, which means we are going to be doing well, it's just a pale ale with Maris Otter and Simcoe. And then we're each going to bring back 2 liters. And we are going to dry hop with different hops. I believe Nick is doing Cascade. And Dan or myself are either doing Amarillo or Centennial. And then we're also going to ferment it with different yeasts. So one of us is going to use USO5, one of us is going to use USO4, another one is going to use Nottingham Ale yeast. And then, when it comes to the Muskoka session, which is the long weekend of August, first weekend in August actually of the summer, we're going to get back together and we're going to exchange beers, we're going to try them. So we're going to record that too, so that's going to be wicked. Anyways, you guys, bit of a non-advantageous homebrew Wednesday this week, but with some cool updates. Like I said, like you've seen, we've got some hops growing on in the backyard. Centennial is growing like a weed, pardon the pun. The Columbus isn't doing much. Actually, hasn't done diddly, but I'm pretty sure there's some activity going on there. I just got to be a little bit more patient. So time will tell. Either way, got some Columbus and may get like 1 or 2 cones off of this year, which is fine. It's not all about that. It's all about establishing the plan. Either way, I want to thank you so very much for watching. Thanks to all of my new subs. Channel is growing by leaps and bounds. Thank you so very much for watching and taking the time to liking, subscribing, and thumbing up the video. By all means, please be sure to like, subscribe, and thumb up the video. Comment down below. And most definitely check out the other BrewTubers that I have listed down below. There's guys like New to Homebrew Tom, guys like Harry Brew 69, got guys like Paul Wicksteed, we have guys like Tony Yates, we have guys like Chris Froggett from Pissing Frog Brewery, got Kevin Clements, we've got Nate and Brad Pico from Under the Table Brewing, so many more, and I apologize if I've missed some names, but be sure to check out the links of the people down below. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Twitter is @ThriftyBrewer. Check me out. And on Facebook, Facebook.com//thriftybrewer.com. Also check out my blog, which you will see links for down below. I don't always post to it, but I try to when I can. Anyways, you guys, this is Sammy the Thrifty Brewer. So if you're going to do something to do with the homebrew, by all means, keep calm and brew on. Cheers. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. All the best. Please be safe. Cheers.